Beaky Bird.
Well, if that's Beaky, that means we have to be here talking with Doug. Hi, Doug.
Oh. You know, he's 30 years old now, that parrot.
Wow.
He just goes and goes. And where he ends up...
The Energizer parrot.
He's crazy. He's seen everything I've ever done.
So I hear you're trying to produce an all-new Enterprise on Netflix.
Well, you know, it's funny because, and we were just talking about this, is that a lot of people think that because I was involved with, you know, instigating this with Jen DeSalle and Rob Bolivar, who really deserve, you know, have worked really hard on this. People think that I'm, you know, that if it happens, that Paramount's going to say, Doug, why don't you produce the show? Just, you do it. You do it. You know something? You've been on Star Trek so long and we love you and everything. Why don't you
just go do that?
Not in a million years.
Well, maybe we should back up and talk about exactly what... So I just see this thing pop up on Facebook. Oh, there's a Netflix, you know, Veronica Mars, got a lot of headlines and all that.
It is not impossible. It really isn't. The entire complexion of how television shows get greenlit and produced and distributed is totally different. And the studios are reeling.
I'll tell you, so I'm looking along and I see, that explodes my brain because of all the recent headlines, and could they really do that? So, but then I see, and I start thinking of the questions. Well, what about the don't produce Trek on TV for the time being mandate and all those kind of questions? But then I see that your name's attached. So you're jumping out there and sticking your name on it in public as a backer? I mean, what was,
Well, you know, I mean, I'm lending my name to it because I think it's a possibility. I think it's a good idea. I'd love to see Enterprise finished.
There's a Facebook page for the...
There's a Facebook page,
for the Netflix.
I mean, it's important if you go there, like it, hit the like button. It's free.
They're not doing a drive. They're just... this isn't a Kickstarter.
This is asking for money.
Yeah.
Nothing like that.
Yeah.
You know, I think it's a good idea. It could actually happen. All of us were always sad that Enterprise didn't go the full, you know, distance. There's a lot of potential there. It was starting to show its potential at the end. And
well, who knows? You know, they're just serendipitous here, maybe or maybe not, that they're releasing the HDs of Enterprise now. They just had a cast reunion. They're not waiting 25 and 30 and 40 years to do a reunion.
And they all would love to come back and do it. You know, we ran into Scott at the Art Directors Guild Awards, where Herman Zimmerman got a Lifetime Achievement, and Scott was the presenter. And he is just so up about the show. It really... It's kind of exciting just to talk to him about it, because he would love to see it and happen, and he really is a fan of the character and wants to see it, you know, taken the full distance. So
you don't anticipate the great Enterprise revival being aboard as producer, but you're just saying, hey guys, go out and...
Well, yeah, I mean, a lot of people think that you know, I have power or something. You know, I mean, you can't put me in the same room with Brandon Braga. Brandon Braga is a showrunner. He makes television shows. I'm a below-the-line guy. But a lot of people who are Star Trek fans know me, and they understand my taste, and they like it, you know. So because my name is attached to it, they'll give it a look, because they're familiar with me. Especially, you know, I did my blog and Facebook page. Look at what's happening with Defiance, where they've got a video game hooked up with a TV show. That's totally unusual. So the studios are slowly coming around and experimenting and trying new stuff, which is the only way you're going to find out what works. Look at Amazon is doing their own shows, and Netflix is doing their own shows, like Arrested Development, right?
Right, yeah.
When you binge watch, it is so freaking powerful. Its ability to get a hold of you is so far beyond what a weekly watching, you know, the way we used to watch TV.
It's no accident that Netflix is behind the Arrested Development.
Yeah.
Series come back.
It's really amazing, and as a matter of fact, I mean, when we did Blood and Chrome, I think that it was a mistake. It wasn't. It might have. I mean, it wouldn't be cheap, but it might have been better for the studio to do a number of shows. Because Netflix is more interested in that. You could deliver a season of episodes, and people can sit down and binge on it, which they know is like addictive. there would be more of a chance that they'd want to pick it up. We always had in mind interesting things for a fifth season if there is one, like for instance the NX refit, which, I mean, there was never any solid plans to do it. We discussed it and even talked to Manny about it. He thought it sounded like a great idea. And the truth is that even at the very beginning of the show where we were putting the ship together, I was sticking a secondary hull on that thing, you know, like every couple of days to make sure that if we ever did it, that the visual dynamic would work.
Yeah.
You know, and people have responded to it really strongly. As a matter of fact, I just got, there's a big interest in the idea of the NX refit and then moving on to the Romulan Wars, which is, you know, would be a lot of fun. And just the other day I received from Round 2, they've made a model of the NX refit as a kit that you could. This is the first non-canon ship that a model kit has been made of. So I mean, it shows you it's captured people.
It's a whole new world. Dragging through the years of Enterprise, that they're supposed to hate it.
Yeah, well, there were people who were indoctrinated to hate it because they'd hear their peer groups talking about what a piece of crap it was, and that was it. You know, you just hated it because Joe Blow hated it. I mean, how many times have I had people come to me and say, "Oh, you know that John Carter movie's a piece of crap. I would never go see that. It was horrible, absolutely horrible." And I'm like, "Did you see it?" And they go, "Well, no, but I heard from Joe that you know."
Yeah.
So I'm finding that you're getting a lot of people who didn't live through the shitstorm when it came out, and they don't know anything about that. Enterprise. They don't know anything about it. It doesn't mean anything to them. They came at it without any preconceptions, nothing. They just turned it on, and you know what? They like it. I love this story. Ricardo Delgado, who was a designer on Deep Space Nine and a real funny, wild guy, after he went on and did a lot of pictures and stuff like that, and we still talk occasionally. And he told me that when Enterprise was on, he had a son at this point. I guess his son was about 5-6 years old or something, and that was his show. Now, for Ricardo, Ricardo really was a Star Wars kind of kid, you know. He would make fun of it. He'd make fun of Archer. You know, he'd say, "Oh, that's stupid. Why would anybody do that?" And the kid would get all hot under the collar. And Ricardo told me he was making fun of Archer, and the kid whips around and says, "Shut up, Dad. He knows what he's doing." You know. Oh, and the other thing you do is watch Enterprise on Netflix. Even if you're not watching it, just run it in the background because every view is a vote for more Star Trek, and I'd love to see episodic Star Trek, and I'd like to see Enterprise get a chance to finish its story with some.
Thanks again.